What's up, everybody? We're back. Got a special guest here with us, Mr. Marty Jannetty of WWF, WWE fame.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
How's it going? Nice to meet you,
You
Mr.
too,
Jannetty.
man. I am having a great time here, man. I've always told people I love Portland. We didn't get to come out here as much as I would like to. Love the place. Having a great time tonight. I may move here. I don't know if a lot of people will get upset about that, but I may move here.
I'm glad we brought in a good crowd. We've got a lot of people listening tonight. We actually got a lot of viewers on our webcam as well, so it's been quite a buzz around the Northwest.
Oh, cool, man. It's a good time. I don't know what we're doing. Y'all tell us what to do after the show. The show is going great, and it's going to be a great ending to it. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
No.
I'm losing the mic. But you guys tell us, what do we do afterwards? Because we're going to have a good time tonight, and that's part of the rocker mentality. We take care of business and we have a good time. We're going to take care of business in the ring here just a little bit, and then Sunday's going to go by, and we're going to have a good time tonight.
Absolutely. You know, and that's been the rumor for many, many years that the Rockers like to party.
It's no rumor. I'm here to say that's not a rumor. There's a little fact in there.
Yes, and joining us, and if you don't mind sharing a mic, he's got his own headset, but we also have Mike Egger from Everywhere Legends Video.
This is the best man in production there is in business right here. Mike,
absolutely.
How do you follow something like that, an introduction like that? This is a great house. There's a lot of people here, and this is a fantastic show. And this shows what I said earlier when I was here just 20 minutes ago. This shows what Marty Jannetty does all over the entire world, but he still brings it. And I think that's very important. There's a lot of fans. They still love what he does, and he still does it better than anybody.
Well, and I think it goes back to that old school mentality where. We're getting a lot of. Can you kill her microphone?
She's not on. It's coming through the speakers. Do you guys
I brought a gun. Let's shoot that thing because it is loud.
Yeah. But I think the following goes back to that old school, the love for old school style wrestling.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, what's out there now, I think, is a lot of crap.
Well, and we were talking about that earlier. I mean, it's changed. It always does change. It's never going to stay the same. 10 years from now, they'll be telling the guys that are wrestling now, man, it's not like it was when y'all were doing it. Everything changes, and you kind of got to go with the flow. But for some reason, the 80s, 90s, right in that era, I don't know if you call it the Hulk Hogan era, but whatever you want to call it, that era actually does stick out.
Yes.
I mean, even the wrestlers themselves, the new guys,
you talk
they
about Piper
love it.
and Rose and
which are from here, right? Those guys are from here, yeah, man. And those, I studied and learned from them. Lynn Denton, one of the grapplers, was here. Mike Miller, Mean Mike Miller.
Yes.
There was a handful of here. Y'all produced some great wrestlers.
Well, there was a time when Portland wrestling was the Mecca. If you wanted to be anybody or go anywhere, you had to come out of Portland.
That was Don Owen days, right?
Yes.
He's legendary. I mean, you hear about him breaking in. There's so many stories that I won't tell.
Right.
Not to run my mouth here, but it's legendary.
Yes.
Around the country and around the world.
I've said this on my radio show several times, and even during our play-by-play, that, again, what's out there now, sports entertainment is a bunch of bull crap to me. If I want sports entertainment, I'll go watch a hockey game.
Or go put a porno on.
Yeah. I like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I can't even say the word sports entertainment and professional wrestling in the same sentence. I'm sorry. But
well, no, that's the old school thing, and I consider my breath. Sorry. They just probably a breath mint. Evidently, my breath is bad.
And they're 20 feet away. That's Marty. I'm worried about you.
Imagine. I might use my breath tonight for the finishing of the match. What were we saying? Something about the. How it's changed in sports entertainment.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, there's no way to dispute it anymore because Vince has showed, we're tough enough, and I think it kind of did good for the business because there were certain people that weren't. You're not going to believe it anyway. But when you see the training, we're tough enough. When they show the training that goes into it, you see getting your ass kicked, if I can say that on there.
Well, you just did.
I just did, right? We got 5-second delay.
No.
Sorry about that, y'all. But, it's just showing it what goes into it. And there is entertainment. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're bringing out the snakes to the ring and whatever other characters that you have. It's the entertainment part of it. Right. But they're actually banging around and throwing each other around. That's the sport. That's the real part.
Right. That's it's fake. I'm sorry, you can't fake gravity.
Yeah.
I've taken bumps, not many, but I've taken bumps in a few gimmick matches, and it all hurts.
Yes, it does.
It's like what you said in your show a while back, Ken, is the whole thing behind it. And granted, I'm not a worker, and I'm a radio DJ, but I am an old school wrestling fan, and I watched a lot of territories. Is Vince took wrestling and ruined the whole kayfabe thing, turned it into sports entertainment to avoid sanctioning, to make more money for himself, and pretty much ruin the territories, and it'll never be what it was.
I mean, I wish it could go back to the territory things. That was so good.
You can have shows like this, which is a very good show. There's some other local promotions that pull really good crowds, but it's never. I used to go to the sports arena when I was a kid, and that place was sold out every night.
Yes.
Every night you go there, it was sold out.
The great thing about the territories too is like they've got their own little training grounds now. And I'm not saying anything derogatory about them. But, they got the little training. I just now hear myself. Have y'all heard everything? Sorry about that.
There must be a poor connection or something. Is it better now? Does that help you any?
Yeah, I'm here now. Okay. But what we say about the territory, the great thing is, you could have your career could be long because you go to a territory, you do what you're going to do, you get over, you don't get over. But whatever you do when you've run out, when they've read the book, you go to another territory and you got another 2-3 years in that territory. Right. Now you go to events, and I'm not talking negative about it, but you go to them and you get a 2-year run, you're done.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a Undertaker
or Cena or CM Punk.
Right. The other thing I don't like too that's gotten away from the old school mentality is that.
Hold on, I can't hear nothing right yet.
Yeah, no, that's Tex Thompson's music. But what I was going to say is now you can pay $50 for a training session, and 3 months later, whoever it was that trains them gives you a pat on the ass and says you're a pro.
Wait 1 second. That's my tag team partner. Am I supposed to be out here right now?
No, I don't think so. You're up in the match next.
Oh, this might be an award presentation.
Yes, that's what that is.
Make sure I ain't getting fired. I ain't got hired yet. I'm about to get fired.
Yeah, no, you're fine. He told me to give you the time.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah. So you get.
They're giving a presentation, an award to somebody right now.
Yeah, to
which
Patty.
I knew I was going to be out there part of
to
it.
Patty. Yep.
But you sure now? Don't let me go in the back and get a super kick.
I said, can I give him your time?
Patty's a huge supporter of our promotion here at BCW.
Yes. So my complaint was, even the training today is not what it was like.
The training.
You had to spend $4,000 or $5,000. Here you are, and it was a year at best before you got your first match.
Right.
Now you got somebody that nobody knows calling themselves a trainer, taking $50 a week, and after 3 months telling you, "Great job, you're going to be a star."
And that's the way it is. Hey, y'all hear this crowd here?
Oh, yeah.
They're into it, man. They're in it. It's live, all the way live.
Yes, and that is for Patty, our sponsor, Patty's
Oh,
Home
yeah,
Plate.
that was it, the presentation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyway, those are my complaints about the business today. I have always enjoyed watching the old school. I've enjoyed the hell out of watching you and Sean. And again, I told you I try not to drag him into this, but the old AWA days, the old NWA days.
Yeah. Those were great. I still enjoy this like tonight. This is great because the fans are into it.
Right.
And that's the thrill of that for me is what keeps me going. And however old I am, I stopped counting about 20 years ago, and I think I was 30 then.
Chair shots.
To me, chair shots. But here it is. You can hear it. We're going to hold it. Y'all hear it?
Well, they can hear it. They're blowing my headphones up.
It is wide open, all the way live.
But
and for you single guys, we got some hot women out
there
here too. I'm trying to focus on my match, make sure we don't get our butts beat.
Right.
And these women walking by with the I was hush. Never mind.
But I enjoy those days. I still watch the old territory days, and everybody got along. now you got a promotion here like us, BCW, and there may be another promoter 20 miles away.
Yeah.
Lost everything.
So
then you got another promoter 20 miles away, an hour away, and he takes that wrestler's gimmick and changes it.
Yeah, it takes away from you. And we talked. I did a little seminar today with some of the newer guys, and that's something we talked about.
Yeah.
And that's just lack of knowing. You know, I mean, you're trying to do what you can do. You don't know if some people call it stealing the gimmick or stealing the move or whatever. And you know, if you're not told, that's not professional. Don't do that. I mean, you don't know. You can't. You know, and a lot of the teachers, and that's what I would think is a big problem, is that how easy it is for people to open a school today.
Yes.
Somebody who's not even wrestled a handful of times and not even at a high level opens a school. How can you train what you don't? How can you teach what you don't know?
Exactly, you know right. I mean? And that was my complaint. You know, they take $50 a week from you, and in 3 months down the road, you've got your first match, and you're going to be a big star. Yeah. And then you got these kids coming into the locker room telling the promoter what his gimmick is, you know, what he's going to do, and he wants a belt within 3 months.
And that I'm not saying blaming WWE for it, but that's, I mean, they set the precedent. What you see on WWE, you're going to see it on the indie scenes. And WWE is showing guys on TV now just 1 year in the business, 2 years in the business. Yeah. Sean and I got in there way back after the AWA thing. Right. We had, I think, a year and a half, and it was very odd that you got to WWF after a year and a half in the business. Right. I mean, it wasn't like a rule like you have to be in the business 5 years, but it takes a little bit of time to catch on to what you're doing out there.
Well, you have to put the miles in. You have to be working every night. Kind of thing.
But now the guys are in there in the first year of the business because it's almost a reality show now. Yeah. I mean, it's almost the wrestling is secondary. Yeah. Whatever the talking part is. And the storylines, and they are good, and they are important. Right. But they take the lead. The match is almost, okay, just throw a match in here. Just separate the interviews with a match.
And do you find it harder now with the way things are to suspend that disbelief?
Wait a minute. They're calling you?
No, they're calling Patty.
I say yes and no. I mean, both ways. I mean, because of the fact, again, what we were talking a while ago, tough enough, people know what's up. Well, a lot of the fans know the shoot interviews, the internet. You go on there and you find out everything behind the scenes. It used to be what we call kayfabe, right. Which I don't think I was talking earlier. And
I don't know anybody that speaks Carney anymore.
No Carney, no nothing. You know, it's changed. It's definitely changed. Back in the day too. The people who put the storylines together, and see me just saying this, talking about the storylines, is a no-no back in the day.
Absolutely. But I mean, now you know, after their match, you'll see heels coming out and wandering around the crowd.
Right.
Well, you wouldn't last 2 minutes back in the day.
Back in the day,
you're fired. Show your face.
You're gone. And if you're talking to the guy you worked with or a babyface when you're the heel, you're gone. You're out of there.
You just don't do that.
Wow, that's a loud band.
Yeah, the sound guy here is horrible.
That is really loud.
Is it me or does she have a nice rear end?
Well, I agree with you, but you probably shouldn't say that. Her husband's a nice guy, too.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't say nothing bad on
that. No, I know you weren't. Yeah, I find it that it's harder, it's tougher to create that disbelief, you know, even if it is for 2 hours because of the lack of kayfabe.
And that comes into the guys in the ring. We were talking about this in the seminar today. You're actually out there doing a movie. You're a live movie. It's just like you're watching a movie. You're watching a car chase scene, right, which I can't stand because it's redundant. You've seen it 100 times. Right. But you're watching. You're into the movie. You're actually into the chase scene till the car goes over some other car and does a backflip and then keeps going. And then you're like, you drift out. Well, it's the same thing with wrestling. We're out there. We're a live movie. And you got them sucked in, then you do some ridiculous thing that doesn't like they say.
And then it's gone.
Yeah. And you can get them back just like a movie. And I keep comparing it to a movie because it's so much like that.
But you have to get the fans vested into what you're doing to get that belief.
Yeah. For them to suspend the disbelief, they do. You got to get them. You got to capture them right at the curtain as soon as you come out. From there you're on.
That's funny you said that, because I just watched a Sin Body shoot training seminar the other day, and he used that same analogy.
Is that right?
About a movie, and almost like a car chase thing too, like you were saying. It was
stealing
great.
your work, man.
Hey, no, I feel good now, because I thought maybe I was ridiculous saying that, so somebody else said it too.
Oh, almost the exact same thing.
And it's so true. It is. I mean, in fight scenes, I mean, too, and that's the hardest thing for me to watch, is a fight scene in a movie, because it's basically what we do every day.
Right.
So I'm watching that, and I'm saying, you messed up there, you messed up there.
Right. Well, okay, let's talk about fight scenes. That fight scene in They Live, Piper's big movie.
Yeah.
Now, that was one hell of a fight scene.
Yeah, and then you got somebody professional doing it. Now, it's not to take away from the guys. They're good. I mean, I'm doing, like I said, because I do it myself, and it's just hard to watch. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, no, I don't think it's just you. I think anybody that's old school and loves the old school style of professional wrestling believes in what you're saying 100%. I mean, I believe it.
Well, it's true. I mean, I might not be presenting it right, but it's true. Behind it all is true.
No, you're doing great.
The World Powers are in the house still.
Yeah. It must be time for their match, Marty. I know yours is up next. So.
I'm gonna get ready.
Yeah.
If y'all can come down tonight and cheer me on in the next 10 minutes. If you happen to be outside in your car, come on in.
Well, watch it on KOUV Radio, and
there you go.
KOUVradio.com, and call your friends and neighbors and let them know. Marty, it's a pleasure meeting you. I've had a wonderful time talking with you.
I wish we could do it longer, but I'm gonna go here and do my thing.
Well, you can call my show sometime, and we'll continue the conversation.
Definitely. I'd love to.
All right. Marty Jannetty, everybody.
Thanks a lot, Marty.
Thank you, man. See you.